Let's talk about 10 best practices and best practice strategies to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and I'm going to share probably 10 plus bonus ways to keep your personal data safe. Because if you don't keep your personal data safe, and if you don't train your employees to do the same, you can struggle and have problems that you didn't anticipate, which is part of one of the big data strategies, by the way. Need my magnifying glass, of course, but let's buzz on and take a look at these. Number one is, of course, encryption. We want to encrypt our data and make it so that anybody can't just hack it and steal it and use it for their own reasons. We want to make sure that we have effective user access control. That means not just anybody can pop into our systems and get access to our data. We want to monitor our cloud security, because if we don't have and keep track of our cloud security, we can be hacked through that as well. Fourth, we want to network traffic analytics. We want to monitor and keep an eye on and pay attention to our traffic and our traffic analytics, because that can be a first warning sign that there's something wrong or something going on. We want to use vulnerability management. We want to, be paying attention to what if scenarios and possible places that we could find data security breaches or hacks. We want to do employee training and awareness. And this is critical, and why I want to share some of the how do you keep your IT department safe tips that I found over the years, because again, it's everybody's job. Just like quality is everybody's job and customer service is everybody's job in your organization, it's also everybody's job and responsibility to keep data safe for the company, for themselves, and for the customers. We want to make sure that we do insider threat detection. Now, that sounds a little bit ominous, right? That you think that someone inside your organization could actually be a culprit. But it happens every day. We want to have prompt incident response reporting and a plan for how do we address immediately any situation that even smells like a data security breach. Real-time compliance and security monitoring. We want to make sure that we're compliant with all the rules and regulations and laws that are changing all the time, by the way. And then finally, we want to do regular data backups. We've got to back up our data. I am maybe a little paranoid on that, because early on in my career, I guess I was working and going to college at the same time, and I was also in an internship, and a couple of things happened. Number one, in the business that I was working for, I was back in the days when you could lose information and there wasn't a great way to back up information. I mean, we're talking the days of floppy disks and things. We save things on floppy disks, but somehow on our computer system, it was a retail wholesale business. 6 months worth of our accounts receivable and accounts payable got wiped out. They got deleted and wiped out by accident on our main computer, and we didn't have an updated backup. So we lost 6 months worth of data. So I had to spend the next months and weeks in the time I didn't have trying to recreate all of that information. Of course, we had the hard copies, but it was a ton of work. It took me hundreds of hours to recreate that information and re-put it in the computer. And that taught me the huge lesson about backing up our data, backing up our information. Now I do a backup. Whenever I do something, I save it. I save it to another place. I save it to an online place, as well as to a fob and a little storage device that I plug into my computer, because I don't want to lose my stuff. That was a bad enough and traumatic enough experience, and at a time when I didn't have the time and energy or the resources to hire somebody else to fix it and do it for us, so I had to do it myself. So let's talk about, so those are the big data ones. Let's talk about how do you keep your personal stuff safe? And these are, again, our best practices, or just maybe common sense. Number one, back up your data. Why? Because of that exact example. I can't tell you how many times I've hit the wrong button on my computer. I am visually challenged, but I'll hit the wrong button on my computer and it'll wipe out my entire file. Luckily, I can hit the back button sometimes and retrieve it, but sometimes that doesn't work if I hit too many buttons, because I might do that sometimes in my troubleshooting. I could lose the whole thing, but that is part of why I have the layers of backup to actually my critical information. I don't save everything, but stuff that's important to me and that I want to use in the future, I definitely do that with. Use strong passwords, and that goes without saying. Use multi-factor authentication. I know it's a pain. It's slower. Yep, it's slower. But guess what? It also protects your information and makes it harder for you to get your information hacked or stolen. Be aware of your surroundings. I mean, if you're in an open Wi-Fi coffee shop, guess what? You got to be aware of your surroundings. Somebody could be right next to you copying your computer now through Wi-Fi and you don't even know it and get access to your personal information. Be wary of suspicious emails. Who hasn't gotten a suspicious email this month that contained a virus, a fraud request, etc.? I literally get them, I think almost daily, but I don't check my email every day. But through email and text messages now, it's so irritating. Plus, you have to be aware of all the fake accounts and fake people and fake things online. I think it's more challenging, and I would guess I would be considered elderly, but for people like my mom's age, it's even more challenging because they're more trusting than I am. And I think that the more trusting you are, the more apt you are to be taken advantage of, unfortunately. Install, of course, antivirus software and malware on your computer and on your systems. Protect your devices when you're not attending to them. Do you have a password? Do you have a lock? Do you have some way of protecting your equipment? Do you put it away and not just leave it out in the open, etc., where anyone could get access to it and figure out your passwords and get in. Make sure your passwords are something that people would not guess. Make sure that your Wi-Fi connection is secure. You would be surprised. Wherever we go, Wi-Fi automatically kicks in. That means a lot of places we go, our cell phones are not secure and can be hacked, as well as our other devices, our computers, etc., our iPhones, our iPads, our everything's. Limit access to those who need it. So limit access to anything when it comes to data and information to the people that need it to do their job or for certain reasons. Don't just have open information for everybody if it's sensitive information, right? Now, I have a different philosophy about sharing business results, etc., with people, because I think if people know and they know that they're positively contributing to that, that benefits them. But every culture doesn't work that way. So do what's right for your business and for you. Take care when screen sharing. That's a biggie too. There's a lot of scams, and I actually fell for one of these. Your black screen of death because there's a virus to your computer. Call this number, and it was a while ago, so I can admit it now. But they ended up. It cost me hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get access to my computer again because I allowed them to screen share and F up my computer even more. Don't keep data for longer than you need it. Keep data for as long as you need it. And I would say I'm extremely guilty of this. I have literally computers with tons of information on them that I just keep forever. So that leads to the next and final tip. Dispose of old IT equipment and records, etc., securely. Make sure you're getting rid of them in a secure fashion. If you've got physical records, you get them shredded. If you've got digital records, you find a way to erase and wipe those so that they never can be accessed again. All right, that's it today. Love to know what you do for data security, both internally in your company. I outsource all of our big data security, but I make sure that those 10 things are included in the product and services that we're using so that all of them are covered. All right, that's it. I'd love to hear what you do. Share in the comments below so we can learn from one another. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow with another strategy you can use to help supersize, grow, and build your business right now. Have an amazing day.